That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild, strawberry ice bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice, an early afternoon show. This is the first of two shows, but right now we are going to have our interview with Corie Blount. But as always to you, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything, I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend getting them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. Their website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
That's right, guys. Shout out to all my sponsors. Meyer Window, Doors, and more. Moorline Lager House, Priority Lawn and Landscaping is getting warmer. You guys are going to need your grass cut. You're going to need your yard cleaned up. You know, you got leaves left over from last year. You want some new mulch. Maybe you're like done with mulch. You want to put some rock in the flower bed. Who knows? If you need anything, lawn and landscaping required. Give me 1 second here. Yes, Corie.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to sign on the link right now.
Sounds good, man. I'll see you in a few.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks. As you can see, that was Corie Blount telling me he's getting ready to jump on the show. But we have some news of the day. Unfortunately, Reds news. The Hunter Green is going to stay healthy saga continues. He has some elbow soreness, so he's going to get an MRI here soon. I find out what's going on with his elbow. That is not what we wanted to hear. So that's one of the keys to the Red season. I said staying healthy. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. We'll find out. But on to better news. The Cincinnati Bearcats destroyed the BYU. What are they, Cougars? Bobcats? What are BYU? I don't even know what their mascot is. 90-68. Wes Miller's got them playing good. I will say that. Ever since they went to, which yours truly said this a while ago, the high-low, run the offense through Bob Miller, that's all. That the offense has started clicking. Also, they've gotten some great guard play. They're shooting a lot better. Their defense has been good. They got a shot at this thing. They got a shot, which a month ago I would have said they had no shot whatsoever at getting in the NCAA tournament. But they have a shot now. I think they need to at least win the rest of the remaining games and hopefully win like 2 games in the Big 12 tournament, and maybe they can make it to the NCAA tournament from there. But with that being said, it is my absolute honor and pleasure to have one of the legends of this basketball program we all love, the University of Cincinnati Bearcats. He's a member of the Final Four team. He is the one and only Corie Blount. Corie, what's going on, my man? How are you, sir?
Man, you cut the music off awful fast, man. I was rocking out.
We're starting to jam. I know I might have to get that longer for us. We just sit there and jam before the show starts.
Oh, okay. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I'm just sitting here enjoying the Bearcat just butt kicking last night. I saw you Saturday. They looked great Saturday.
Yeah.
They looked great last night. Wes has got them playing the best basketball of the Wes Miller era, I think. Here, what's your thoughts on this team from what it started to the beginning of the season to where it is now, which they're pretty much, I think they're on the bubble, at least having a shot at making the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think if we finish strong and at least win one or two in the conference tournament, we can kind of solidify our spot with opportunity to get in the tournament. I think that'll give us a little more advantage to kind of have something to petition for in that manner if we're able to finish strong and get a couple wins in the tourney. I know the rejuvenance for me is, man, I think they just finally figured out their identity. The crucial moment, I tell everybody, the crucial moment to me was when the fans were talking about wearing bags to the damn stadium. I'm like,
I know. By the way, I was not part of that. I don't do that stuff. But yeah, that was kind of shocking to me. Were there anybody wearing bags? I didn't see any.
No, it weren't anybody wearing bags. But I think me and Terry talked about it. Like, as a player, I know if our fans would have did that would have fired me up. Like, oh, right. Hell no, we're not. We got to get this fixed immediately before we let something like that happen. So I think that kind of woke everybody up when that happened, man. They played well after that.
Yeah, big thing for me is it seemed like West changed the offense, and he started running the offense through Baba Miller and the two big guys. Yeah. And we're getting our outside shooting better. Our guard plays getting better. What do you think? How has the offense changed from what it was beginning of the season to now? Just the not just what I said, the details of it that you've seen.
Yeah, I'm as a big myself, man. I know the only way we thrive is off touches. You're going to have to get the chance to feel that rock wide so you can develop a feel for the game and be able to get your confidence. And I love West, but before now, I don't think he had done a good job of really having big men that he can truly say he developed and worked with to make them want to be, good big men. So I think it kind of took some time based on the outcomes to say, man, we might need to change this up a little bit and start working with these guys, man, and getting them the ball, because to me, the percentages speak the game. And I know those shots within that 15-foot range, those are pretty much high percentage shots. Mm-hmm. And our percentages from the three weren't all that well,
Yeah, it was a hope and pray mostly from the 3-point line before that.
Yeah, so I think that, you got enough coaches over there. They probably looked at enough film and looked at the quality of bigs they got and said, man, we might need to change this up a little bit. And luckily those guys have responded well.
Yeah, Baba is amazing. I mean, he can handle the ball as good as a guard. And I know growing up, when you and me, well, I won't say when you and me played, but when I played, pickup basketball, and you actually played Division I and NBA basketball, footers weren't doing that. I mean, that was very, very rare if you saw a 7-footer bring the ball, but you might see Shaq do it every once in a while. He was the first one I can remember doing it. Yeah. But Baba will bring the ball up the middle and start the offense. I mean, that's the new age of basketball here. But that once he started doing that, I think he's taking charge of that. Things changed. The attitude changed. They have more confidence, I think, in themselves. And West is finally got a set rotation. I think that helps too. Yes,
definitely. And like I say, I'm not coaching anymore, but I just try to put myself in the context of a player. Man, you don't like getting yanked in and out of the game, man. Because you got to develop a feel for the game, and you coming in and coming out. And if everything is set, and it looked like he had set rotations, like if I'm rolling, why would you take me out, man? Let me ride this wave until I do something to make you take me out.
Right. That never happened with Huggins, right? You never did anything to make Hugs pull you out, right?
You were coming out soon as you did something wrong. We look over and hear that horn already before it started blowing. Shit.
Yeah, I've had Terry Nelson on the show a couple of times. And by the way, shout out to you guys and your podcast. I heard it's blowing up. You guys are doing a great job there. But Terry's told me some story. He told me the funniest Huggins story I think he told me is something about Nick Van Exel getting kicked out of practice and walking back in eating a hot dog.
Yeah. That was before the Xavier game, man. We had a incident where Terry had kind of made comments that we were gonna blow those guys out, and he was already pissed off about that. Then when we came into practice, the media came up and they asked Nick, "Well, what do you think, Nick?" And Nick like, "I agree with Terry. We're gonna blow him out." And that Hugs was like, "That's it, everybody, get the hell out of this gym." And then he said on the line, and he's running us. He's running us, and then I fool around and twist my ankle.
Oh no!
Hugs goes off. Now, Terry and Nick, you see what the hell? Look at our big man. He's down on the ground now. And so then he said, "Matter of fact, Nick, get the hell out of here." He kicked Nick out of practice. And then Nick, usually we go in the locker room after he kicks us out and he wait for one of the assistant coaches to come in and say, "Come on, you know how he is. Come back out." Nick left and went to the cafeteria and got something to eat. So
he's like, "I'm all the way out. I'm gonna go get some food." He's like, "I'm done with this."
So he had one of the coaches go get him, and Nick come in with his jersey half around his neck and eating a hot dog, and Hugs you could see he didn't want to laugh neither. He was just like, "Get him back in here and let's go to work." So yeah, that's just how he was, man.
Oh, that's awesome. So how do you're around the program a lot now? How do you see the relationship with Wes and the players? Because these guys, like, from when the season started, they could have said, "Dude, I'm done. We're out." So he's probably gonna get drafted in the NBA. Other guys like I could be looking. Everybody's looking to go elsewhere. These guys all are bought in. Wes kept them all together, and I'll give Wes credit. I've been hard on Wes because I haven't liked the way the first 5 years have went so far. I act like Corie, every time I'm out, he pulls me back in. So he's kind of pulled me back in again. But just the relationship, and he had with these guys to stick around. That to me, that says something about Wes and the kind of coach he is, or at least the kind of communicator he is with his teammates. What's your thoughts on how he communicates and the relationship he has with his players?
Yeah, my interactions with Wes, man, his personality and the way he conducts himself, he's just a guy you're gonna like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meet me personally. Now, as a fan, because I consider myself a fan now, I had every right to be pissed off and upset like everybody else because I want to win just like everybody else. And if I feel that the coach isn't the guy that can do that for us, then I'm going to have my disagreements with how he's doing things. So I'm in agreement with that too. But I think with his personality, man, he has that rare ability. I'm sure those guys love playing for him.
Yeah.
Just because he allow him freedom. He's not one of those guys that's
he's not like Hugs. He's not like Hugs. It's a little different.
It takes a certain type of technique to be able to get that off and your players still respect you. You know what I mean? Hugs had that gift.
Right.
Everybody don't have that gift. So the way that Wes coaches, I think his guys truly really like playing for him, man. And I think that the things that they're going through by him being who he is and having the ability to kind of tell those guys that, man, we're going to be all right because everything's so positive. You hear the post-game interviews. It's like, man, I'm not going to throw my guys under the bus. We're going to fix this. And you got to respect that in a sense. But as a fan, I'm like you. I'm like, man, come on, man. I want to hear that you frustrated. I want to hear that you pissed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, then you think of it as a player, like, man, I wouldn't want no coach throwing me under the bus neither. So that's
right, exactly. Yeah, because I mean the epic stuff with Hugs every time they would do the post-game interview with Dan Hoare and stuff. Well, Dan, I don't know. We just didn't play very good. Well, we didn't hustle. Hey, the guys just don't care. All the stuff that Huggins would say. And then Wes is like, yeah, we high-five everybody. We're doing good. I was like, it's completely different. I would have a hard time playing for Hugs because I'd be like, dude, I suck. But Wes, I might be, be more positive about it. But how do you think Wes has? I feel Wes has grown as a coach because I think the man can recruit. The man can recruit. He can communicate. I've had a problem with his coaching, his in-game adjustment or season adjustments, because I haven't really seen a lot of adjustments until this year. I think he's made some pretty big adjustments. Well, have you seen him grow as a coach this year? No. Corey's frozen. Oh, I had a really good question, too. I was wondering why he was smiling so much at me. Oh, hopefully he'll come back. I think he had a phone call. So we'll see. So let's go into the chat here until we get Corie back on here. Ronnie, what's up? I remember when you bent the room in Memphis. I'm going to have to ask you about that one. I forgot about that, Ronnie, until you said that. That was Conference USA tournament, I think, wasn't it? Let's see, Corie bent the rim. I'll write that down. All right, I think that was in Conference USA, and that's when we freaking just dominated that conference. There, we dominated Conference USA like no other. Because I was listening to, he's back. Here we go. There he's back.
I apologize. That's my fault, man. My phone was ringing and I was trying to turn it off, and it's long.
It happens. Yeah, he's got no worries.
That's why I need. Hey, next time I'm coming in the studio, we ain't gonna have this.
I'll have you sit right next to me here. We'll do it that way.
Yeah, man. My fault on that, man.
No, you're right. It happens all the time. Like I used to have Corey Dillon on here a lot. It would happen to him, and I'm like, you got to put your phone on silent so people quit calling you.
I just did it right now.
Yep. Appreciate it. Okay, so what my question was, Wes Miller's growth as a coach this year. I've seen, I think, a lot of growth because my problem with him before, I think he's a hell of a recruiter, hell of a communicator. I wasn't so much sure how good of an in-game adjustment or in-season adjustments because I didn't really ever see any. This year I have. What's your thoughts on how Wes has gotten better this year?
Yeah, I reflect back when he first got the job, and I remember me saying on Twitter, like, we've just hired a young coach, so I know we're going to go through some growing pains, man.
Right.
And I didn't know what level of growing pains that we were going to have to go through, but I knew he was a young coach, and he was stepping into a hell of an opportunity and a hell of a conference. So for us to naively think that we're getting ready to jump to the top of the Big 12,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Our bad. That was on us. That was our bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. We got so used to it with you guys in hugs. That's the thing. Like Conference USA, you dominated Great Midwest. That's what we're used to, and we haven't seen that since then. But good.
Yeah, Mick had some success too. He kept us relevant, man. That's why I respected Mick while he was here. So going into that, and then we got this new young coach. I knew it was going to take some time for him to kind of develop his identity as a UC University of Cincinnati Bearcats basketball coach, because our identity and our perspective of how we look to the public, that tough, grinding out, in your face type of style, we didn't know if we were going to get that. So, and I think what he brought in first was he wanted to change our style into more shooting and being able to knock down the three ball and play off the small. So I think it took some time for him to kind of figure that wasn't going to be a way for us to succeed at the level that
Big 12. Yeah, especially the Big 12. Big 12 is big boy basketball. You gotta have some big boys. You got shooters, but you gotta have big guys. That's one thing that I've noticed. I think we finally got that this year.
No question. I think he saw it. That's the whole evolution of coaching, man. You make adjustments, you analyze your team, you kind of see what you got, and you work with it that way. I'm a firm believer that I'm not going to force guys into my style of offense or defense. Right. I'm going to try to find the guys that fit my style of offensive defense and then conform them to making them successful. So I think that's kind of what he finally did.
Hey, I know you've gone to practices and stuff, but have you ever went and talked to any of the big guys and kind of went through just some drills or anything with them on the court or off, and they picked your brain or anything?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been to a couple practices, but I've learned a long time ago that you going in there making one rah-rah speech, that ain't gonna help no players, man.
Right.
You gotta be able to be with those guys at least on a consistent basis to help them develop. You can go in there and tell them you need to face up and take advantage of your man. You got to show these guys.
They're like, where you been? They're like, where you been at?
Yeah, so I get that all the time. It's like, nah, I go to practice. I don't speak to them because if I did, I'd want to show them repeat so they can really understand and hopefully incorporate this in their game.
Right.
So no, I'm not gonna sit there and say I do go in there and kind of, when I go to practice, I go to watch, I talk to Wes and the assistant coaches, and then I just look and observe to see how those guys are developing.
That's cool. One thing I told Terry this before. One thing I really loved that Wes did is he embraced the history of the Bearcats, embraced you guys, because you guys always have seats behind the bench and everything, and he's always talking about the great history of the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, which there is. I mean, I went to the game Saturday, and a couple of these young guys were talking, and I kind of overheard them, and they're like, "Did we ever win a championship?" I go, "Yeah, 61 and 62. It's up there." I said, "I wasn't alive then, but yeah, and we had the Final Four team." Like, "We did?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, yeah. Where have you been at? So I mean, people forget about the history of this team and one of the greatest players ever, Oscar Robertson.
No question.
The GOAT.
No question.
So that's what I love about Wes, how he brought that in there. What did that mean to you as a former player being brought back in? Not that Mick didn't, but it seems like Wes made a bigger effort to bring you guys back into the fold more than since the whole when Huggins left.
No, it ain't no sugarcoating. Mick didn't try to do that. You know, he didn't really try to extend that level of promoting former players or the history of the He didn't have that in his game at the time. He was more. Right. He told me, man, my job is to win games right now, and that's what I'm focusing on. And I respected him for that. But I think Wes, coming from North Carolina, understand the tradition and knowing how vital that former players and bringing recognition from past accomplishments would do for your university. And I think he's done a phenomenal job at extending that opportunity for former players and to welcome everybody around the campus and around the practices and everything. So I think that carries weight. I think that carries weight in the community. I think it carries weight in the university, and definitely the former players appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it because I love universities. I went there. I mean, I embrace the history. I used to go down to the Coliseum. I still call it the Coliseum, Heritage Bank Arena, whatever the hell you want to call it. Tony Yates was the coach, and my dad had season tickets forever, so we would always be Bearcat fans and everything. So to me, like, yeah, and I get we're surrounded by Kentucky fans. They're like, oh, you know, we're the blue bloods. But like, dude, we're not that far off of you. I'm like, we've been around, okay? I mean, we got some pretty damn good teams here. Now I know we haven't made the tournament here in a while, and tag on it, Corey. I want to make it this year. I hope so bad we make it this year. And like I said, a month ago, I didn't think we had a shot, but you never know. We'll see what happens here. And the NCAA tournament is still like my favorite time of year. Yeah. What was, to me, my favorite year, which was the first year I won an NCAA pool, was 1992 when you guys made it to the Final Four.
Okay.
I'm always a homer. So I was my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
So my dad had an office pool, and I got in it, and of course I picked the Bearcats to go all the way because I'm a homer. Yeah. And I won the thing. What was that run like? Because it was, as a fan, it was awesome. Because I knew we won in 61 and 62, but we hadn't really won a whole lot, you know, in recent years till Hugs got here. But the fans just rejuvenated this season. What was that run like for you as a player?
Man, it was unbelievable. I can reflect back to the time we had Midnight Madness, and Dick Vitale came to our Midnight Madness to do it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And after we got done, he set us all down, and he was talking to all of us as a team, and he was like, you know, you guys have a great opportunity here. You know, you're at a D1 school. You're going to be able to work and go to school and get your education, but you got to set team goals, and you want to try to achieve something while you're here. And he went to Terry. He said, Terry, you know, what would be an ideal goal for you, you know, coming to the University of Cincinnati? And Terry said, I'd like to go to the Final Four. And Dick was like, yeah, that's a good goal, but you got to set realistic goals first. You know what I'm saying? And I never forgot that. And I was like, well, man, you know, why can't we go to the Final Four?
Right, yeah, you hyping us up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I just came from winning 2 championships, the National Junior College Player of the Year. So I know what winning is at that level. So why can't we do it? And it always stood out with me as our team kept developing and we kept winning. It's like, man, we're going to make it to the tournament. You know, that was our first goal, man. We're going to make it to the tournament. The first goal was to win conference and then make it to the tournament. Win conference, win our conference tournament, and then make it to the tournament. And we accomplished all that. And once we got in the tournament, man, the thing that was a defining moment for us is our first seed was right here in Dayton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were pissed as players because we wanted to travel. You know what I mean?
Right. We can go to Dayton anytime we want.
We're like, man, we done did all this. Now we got to go right up the street. We were thinking on that level, but it was an amazing thing for us because all our fans was right up, man. Mm-hmm. That's what made us really.
We took over. Bearcats took over.
Man, that's what woke us up. Like, man, that was the best move for us to be right up the street as a team that was just first experiencing that. because the fan support was ridiculous at that time. So
it was.
That was one of the most memorable times for me, man. And to take it all the way to the level we took it, we lost to the Fab Five, unfortunately, by 3 or 4 points.
Yeah. I still remember Nick Van Exel throwing one up at the end of trying. I'm like, I'm hoping it's going to go in for. You can still see it from the corner. He's throwing it. I think it was Nick throwing it from the corner. Yep. Yeah. I'm like, I thought it was going to go in. I was about to go nuts, and it hit the rim and bounced off. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
That was fun. But the part that I loved the most, well, I don't say I loved the most, but was really fun was beating Memphis 3 times. That was all. 4 times. Sorry, 4 times. You're right. 4 times, which is unheard of.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't beat teams, especially Division I teams, 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, Penny had
to
be
2 of them were for championships. The first one was for the conference championship. I mean, the conference tournament championship, and then the second one was to go to the in the Elite Eight, the Final Four.
Yeah, Penny had to be pissed.
Yeah, I always gave him hell about that. I played with him in Phoenix. So I was always
okay.
Yeah, we were together in Phoenix for a year, so I would always give hell about that.
You guys had some pretty good conversations about back then about that stuff. You could one up them. So let's talk about another thing. Ronnie put it in the chat here. My boy, Ron from he's from Cincinnati, but he's out in Arizona. He always say he remembers when you bent the rim in Memphis.
In Memphis,
What did you? Because I remember that too. Like, did you intend to do it, or how'd that? Or you just got so much power, you just bent it?
No, what happened is funny because I could still see that play too. The play before that, I tried to draw a charge, and the guy ran me over, and I didn't get the charge right.
Right.
And so while I'm on the ground, none of my teammates came to help me up. So I'm like, I'm already pissed now. Like, oh, I just tried to take a charge and it didn't go my way, but then none of them came. I said, all right. So I was already saying, I'm about to do something. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I remember they took a shot and Nick had the ball and I just sprinted down the middle of the lane. And man, when he dropped it off to me, I cocked it back. And when I dunked it, I pulled the rim down.
Yeah.
And, that's usually how I try to dunk anyway. But this time when I pulled it down, it locked. It locked so hard that they was trying to get a broom, a hammer. So I'm over there like, damn size, man. Here I am. I done delayed the game an hour and a half.
I remember that because I was watching it, you dunked. I'm like, yeah, cheering that you dunked it. I'm like, oh crap, he broke the rim. Like, let's go. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, they had to bring a whole new rim and everything in there, like delayed it an hour. So you couldn't tell me nothing after that. I was the strongest man in America.
Yeah, hell yeah, you were. That's awesome. So let's go back to how you. I know you've told a story a bunch of times on different podcast stuff, but how you came to Cincinnati, how you, Terry Nelson, and was it Eric Martin? Yeah, all three. Yeah, you three got together and pretty much started getting everybody to come. Or how you tell the story how all 3 of you got together and came here.
Well, the thing was, me and Eric played together in junior college. We had just won a championship. I was the National Junior College Player of the Year, and he was an All-American. And we played Terry in the championship game that year at Long Beach. So we kind of knew each other from playing against each other. But that summer, we started going to Cerritos College and UCLA and playing against those guys. And, we were all junior college players. So after we would play, we'd go get something to eat. And one day, Terry was like, man, where you guys going? I said, man, we're getting ready to go get something to eat. So he came and ate with us. And that's when our bond, and we really started talking. We had just beat him. So me and Eric is talking trash. And he's telling us, man, only reason you guys won because so-and-so. We're going back and forth. And we just started talking about who was recruiting all of us.
Right.
And I never forget, Terry was the first one to say Cincinnati. And I'm like, Cincinnati? Where the hell is that at?
What sandwich is that? I've never heard of that before.
They playing the Metro, man, and this coach is, man, he's real good dude. And I'm like, oh, well, that's what's up, man. Because I had verbally committed to go to UNLV and hadn't really started taking my trips yet. And so Eric was still up in the air. And I remember we had went to open gym one day and Coach Mo was there to see Terry, and he saw me and Eric playing at the same time. And Coach Mo was like, man, we really would like to get you, but I heard you kind of committed already to UNLV. I said, well, I verbally committed. I haven't even took a trip yet. He said, well, why don't you take a trip to Cincinnati? And, I hit him with all right, yeah, I'll do that. And so when me and Terry and Eric went to go eat again, Terry was like, "Well, man, I'm gonna take my trip, man. Why don't you go with me?" And I was like, "What the hell?" I'm telling myself I ain't going there anyway, but I ain't
It's
never
a free
been
trip.
I ain't never been to Cincinnati or seen no snow at that level. So I'm thinking like, man, I'll take the trip. And me and Terry took the trip, man, and had a phenomenal time. You know, the rated R version of this story was I hadn't even met Hugs, right? And so I remember AD Jackson was like, "Man, well, what kind of beer you drink?" And I'm like, "Man, I drink Old English 800." And man, he took me to go get a beer, man. And I never forget they had a big jug of Old English 800, right? And I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Me and him laughing back and forth. And so we just had a great time that night. And then when I met Hugs, you know, he was so mild-mannered, you know, telling me, man, you could be a good player if you come here. So I took all that in stride. Me and Terry left back, and Terry was like, man, I think I'm going to sign with Cincinnati.
Right.
And so I said, well, I'll think about it. So I started taking my other trips. And then Eric said, well, you know, what'd you think about Cincinnati? Because Mo was talking to me too. I said, man, take the trip. I think you'll like it. And so, make a long story short, Eric took the trip. He came back, and we all got together and was like, man, what you think? And Eric was like, man, I like it, man. I think I'll be interested in going there. And Terry said, no, don't be interested. Just imagine if we all go to the same school. You got 3 of the best junior college players going to one school, man. We're going to make a difference whatever school we go to. And I was like, well, man, you know, I still got 3 trips to take.
Right. I got some more free stuff to go see. Go check out.
Man, at least for me, it wasn't nothing like going on them damn trips back. Man, they treat you like a god.
I bet they did.
Recruiting trips. Oh, yeah. Fun time. So, make a long story short, we got back, man. We just made the commitment. Like we said, man, you know, we kind of put our hands together like the 3 amigos and said, man, we're going to go to Cincinnati. And we did it, man. We just got in the car and drove to Cincinnati and been here ever since.
That's awesome. Now I heard a story too that Hugs kind of smooth talked your grandma too.
That's in the documentary. I don't want to tell that part. Yeah, I want everybody to see that part in the documentary.
Speaking of that, when is that coming out again?
They're going to have the premiere here in Cincinnati on April 17th. And then they're going to try to get one of the networks to kind of purchase it or buy or shop it pretty much at the end of March.
Okay.
So,
and where can people get tickets to go? You're going to show it in a movie theater here.
Yeah, just go to beyondthebench.com or go to Beyond the Bench Facebook page, and all the information is on there.
Awesome. Yeah. So we talk about how Hugs is all smooth talking to you and everything, and and then the first practice hits, and then the real Hugs. I don't know the real Hugs where Coach Hugs comes out.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell? Where did the nice guy go? Who's this dude?
Hey, what the hell did I sign up for, man? Like, I tell everybody, it was like, I don't know how old your audience is, but at the time it was like the Full Metal Jacket, beginning of the Full Metal Jacket movie. Like, what the hell? You know how intense that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's how I'm like, man, he called us everything but a child of God, man. Like, what the hell I signed up for this for? But you know, that's why I say, man, he just had that rare ability. Like, man, he'd get on you, man, but then before you can even get pissed off enough to want to, he put his arm around you and say, look, man, this is just who I am, but I want the best for you. You know, I know if I can get you to give me what I need, man, we're going to be successful. So he'd follow up with that kind of stuff. So it make you question yourself, like, all right, he just called me the softest player in the history of the game of basketball. But then the next 2 seconds, I have so much potential, I could possibly be the greatest player if I listen to you.
Carry it down to lift you back up. That was every day, over and over and over again, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and Buford I think Andy Buford put it the best way. He said, man, he's going to give it to you, but it's going to be verbally violent, you know?
Right, exactly.
That's how we got it.
Exactly. So do you guys from the Final Four team, I know a couple of you guys still live around here. Do you guys get together periodically?
Yeah. That the crazy thing about that team, man, we still all communicate pretty much every day, talking about basketball, talking about current events. We're on a feed or a chat line where, I mean, it don't go without a day without somebody saying something about something, and just that's just how special that group was. Because I talked to a lot of former players from not just Cincinnati but other teams and NBA. They don't really communicate or still have that line of connection with their teammates like that. And, you know, I think that was the blessing for us, man. We were so engaged and locked in, and then having the success that we had, it built the bond, and I think it's going to carry with us throughout the rest of our lives.
Right. So is that what made you, after you got done with your NBA career, what made you settle down and move back to Cincinnati? Because you could have went you could have went anywhere. Why'd you want to come back here?
Yeah, I lived everywhere. I mean, I had a house in LA, had a house in Chicago. Man, I knew that I was a part of something here. Plus, I loved Hugs. I mean, that was the bottom line also, man. That was like he was my evil stepdad, father figure guy I love and hate at the same time. So it was constant communication with him and Chuck Mayshak, and you know, I just felt indebted to those guys who helped me. You know what I mean? Because they allowed me to display my talents at the highest level, and the success I had, I always contributed back to the University of Cincinnati. So it was just a shoe fit that I knew I was going to be able to do for the rest of my life coming back here, and that's why I made a decision.
Well, I love it that you come back here and you're always representing Cincinnati. I mean, you brought Chuck Mayshak, and I unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, but I love listening to Chuck and Dan Horde on the radio, and I will never forget it. I think it was I can't remember where they're at, the NCAA tournament, where he got thrown out of the game, and Chuck's in the radio booth. He got thrown out of the game, but that's how passionate Chuck was about this. I'm like, this means something to people. This means something to me. I damn sure know means something to you.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's going to find fascinating about the doc, because you'll be able to see their relationship.
Yeah,
you know, it's a lot of things that you'll be able to see why Chuck was even on our staff at the University of Cincinnati, but prior to that, you know, Hugs was on his staff. So, you know, a lot of us didn't know that early on. I mean, that was before, you know, 80s, 70s and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that's the good thing about this doc, man. You really get to see the true essence of how Hugs developed his style, how he got into coaches, who he associated himself with, why he chose the style he chose, and then it just shows, man, from there on, his success.
Yeah. It's all, and the cool thing is when we wear the old school UC jerseys, the ones that you guys made famous, like my boy Frank was wearing the other night when I met you or saw you there. He was wearing the Nick Van Exel jersey.
Van Exel,
yeah. People know that, you know, and people and I mean, back in the 90s, the Bearcats were a thing. Like Tupac's wearing it. I mean, and I always give you guys credit for wearing the all black uniforms.
Yeah,
nobody did that.
Yeah,
no, I mean, Duke has got an all black uniform.
Yeah.
Duke, like Bearcats are the one that started that. So it's not that they were. You guys were the black hats, the badasses that came in. You were the team, in my opinion, back then that everybody wanted to be. Yeah. That's why what Alex Meacham always says, it's iconic, and that's where I think you guys were in that time period. Iconic, hip hop gravitated toward us fans gravitated toward it, and it just built a brand for Cincinnati basketball that's going to be hard to get back to, but I would love to get back there someday.
Yeah, I think it was the style. Like I tell everybody, man, when I signed my letter of intent to come to the university, man, this CPAW had never been really seen or respected in California or anywhere. You know what I mean? And then after we went to the Final Four, I think people gravitated to us because we were a bunch of players that nobody knew about. We weren't expected to come in and really change the culture like we did, but then to have that level of success, people wanted to be a part of that. And then Hug with his style of coaching and our toughness, the way we played and trapped all over the place and was aggressive on the defensive side, we garnered a lot of attention. And I remember during the tournament, you know, someone asked me about, you know, how do I view our basketball program? And I remember I made the statement. I said, I think we are the Rodney Dangerfield of college baskell. Right now, we're not getting no respect, but we're going to get it as soon as they let us play. So we carried that into the tournament and fell short. I mean, honestly, we went in really, at least I can say, far as the majority of the guys, we felt confident, man. You know, we respected Michigan, but we like, man, I couldn't see us losing to a group of freshmen. You know, that was the thing. Like, as good as they were, just the fact that we're getting ready to play a group of freshmen, we're not getting ready to lose. But you know, I take my hat off to that team, man. They were a talented team. They were big. You know, that's the thing that I think they had over us, the size.
They were bigger than you guys. Yep.
Yeah, and they had a talented group, like 4 draft picks. So you know, if you're gonna lose, that's how you want to lose. If you're gonna lose,
I think they had you in size, but guard play, I think we had them there. I mean, I'll take Dick Van Exel and T. Rat and all those guys over Jalen Rose and who's it, Kenny. I can't remember the rest of them, but the other guy, I think our guard play was better. But either way, it was awesome to watch that run. Yeah, there you go, Jimmy King. That's what I was thinking of. So all right, real quick here, let's do going into the NBA draft here.
Yeah.
What was it like? Did you know you were going to get drafted by the Bulls? And at the time, did you get excited? Because I was excited for you. You're going to play with the GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I mean, I'm like, and they just came off winning, 3 titles in a row.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, I got to take you back because, you know, me being from LA, I was a Laker fan.
Yeah.
You know, and Nick being from Kenosha, Wisconsin, he was a Bulls fan. So that was our argument.
And Nick went to the Lakers. He went to the Bulls.
So that was our little discussion before we even started talking about draft possibilities.
Right.
So once the season started going along, man, they were starting to mention me as being a possibly late round a draft pick in the second round. So I was fine with that. You know, I'm like, man, just the fact that my name is even being mentioned as a possible draft choice was good enough for me. So I just remember, man, I'd accepted that, and then Nick Nick was a potential first round draft pick. So we knew that going in. We just knew we had to win as the season went along. So I just remember I signed with my agent Mark Bartelstein, and he said, man, you know what? I think if we can get you to go to a lot of workouts, people are gonna really see that you have a more talent than what you got. So are you willing to go to a bunch, more than 1 or 2 workouts? I said, man, I'll go to 10 if I need to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Do what I got to do. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Said, okay, I'm going to call you. And, man, it was like every week I was packing my bags, going to work out for teams. And I think after doing that, he called me. He said, you know what, man, they're saying you might be a late first round pick now, man. There's a lot of teams interested in you in that last 20 to 25. So, good job. And I was like, cool. So my last workout, the second to the last workout was with the Bulls. And had a phenomenal workout, and I just remember Jerry was like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. We got our number set. We got our 7th pick locked. We're really interested in this special kid from Croatia. He's a talent. He's 6'9". I mean, this kid can do it all. But he said, but we got a 25th pick. And I promise you, if you're around, we're going to get you. He said, but don't tell nobody. We want to try to keep this under. I said, all right, no problem. So I left there with that in mind, that I was going to possibly be drafted to 25th pick. So then my final workout was with Boston. And I never forget, it was me, AC Earl, and Conrad McRae.
Yeah.
And, man, I balled out, man. I knew I said shoot. And they had the 15th pick.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, man, I know they like me, just the way everything went. Them guys were tired and out of shape. I'm running and doing everything, making us run suicide, and I'm breezing through them. So they was like, okay, we like that. And so I tell Hugs, like, man, I'm probably going to go at 15 or 25,
Yeah.
So me and Nick went and watched the draft at Hugs' house. And I never forget, man, the 15th pick came, and, I'm telling Hugs, like, man, this might be it. The Boston Celtics picked AC Earl from the University of Iowa, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, what the hell? So then I was like, all right. So, and we were expecting Nick to go 8th to Charlotte, and they passed on him. So it was like, all right, well, we'll just have to see what happens. And lo and behold, man, Chicago Bulls came up, made their pick. And the crazy thing, when they said the Chicago Bulls, the fans started booing. But they were booing because the draft was in Cleveland that year.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike had just nailed that.
That shot. Yep.
Yeah. But I wasn't aware of that. So when he said my name, like, boo. And I'm like, well, dang, why they booing me?
Like, what'd I do? I just got drafted. I did nothing.
And then Jerry, like, oh, he called me like, yeah, they were booing because we kicked their ass the year before. They weren't happy about that. I was like, oh, okay, well, now that I got that. So we sat around and we waited for Nick to get drafted, and he went 35 to the Lakers, and we was just ecstatic. Me and Nick both said, man, we just want an opportunity to even be announced. And then once they announced us, it was just a phenomenal time for both of us, man.
Now, what was it like? I'm trying to get my timeline right here. Did you actually get to play with Jordan, or did Jordan retire before then? I can't remember the timeline there.
So here's my story with Jordan. When I got drafted, man, I went to Chicago after the season was over with. Went to Chicago, started working out and everything. And I remember one night, man, it was about 10 o'clock. I just decided I'm going to the gym, at the house, nothing to do. I said, man, I'm going to go to the gym. So at that time, once you signed with the Bulls, they had a key card that they give you that gave you access to the facility whenever you wanted to. So sometimes I would go in there, me and my cousin Dave, and just shoot and everything. But this time I went by myself. And I'm in there just shooting around, and all of a sudden the door opens. And I'm like, man, who coming in? I'm thinking it's my cousin Dave trying to get back in here.
Right.
And then I look up. I see somebody go in the locker room, and I'm like, well, dang, who was that? So I'm continuing to shooting, and then Mike come walking out. And I'm like,
comes out of the shadow.
Yeah, the aura. And I'm like, oh, man. He like, hey, young fella. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? He said, hey, man, happy to have you here, man. You ready to work? I'm like, yes, sir, man. I've been waiting for this all my life. He said, yeah. He said, well, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about you, man. I'm wishing you a lot of luck. And I'm like, what you doing here? He said, oh, I just came to get some shots. And I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. I said, man, you want to play one-on-one?
Yeah. Heck
like,
yeah.
Let's get this on now.
Right.
He said, nah, I just came to get some shots, but you're going to have your chance. Don't try to rush it. He's talking trash to me. Don't rush it. You're going to have your chance. And I was like, well, man, what you going to do? He said, man, I just came to get some shots. And I'm like, well, you want me to rebound for you or anything? He's like, nah, young fella, I'm good. So he went to the other end, and I just, I held the ball while he was just over there shooting, getting his own rebound. And I walked out the gym, and I called my brother. And like, man, I met Mike tonight, man. He said, yeah. I said, man, I bust his ass one-on-one.
There's no video proof.
Yeah, he's like, for real? I'm like, yeah. I said, no, man. He said he just came to get some shots, but I asked him if he wanted to play. So, me and my brother laugh about that to this day. So I go home about a week later. I'm back at home, and Jerry Krause called me like, man, you got to get back to town. There's something going on. You got to get back. And I'm like, all right. So when I fly back, man, that's when they, had that team meeting, and he announced that he was going to retire.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to play with him that year. We played that year. We had a good year. We lost to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty had a hell of a year that year. It was just
he did.
Oh, my God. I mean, I've never seen one player dominate every facet of the basketball game like Scotty.
Dude, they had the two best players in the NBA in on one team in Jordan and Pippen. I've said that a million times. Pippen doesn't get the credit I think he deserves of how good a player Scottie Pippen was. He was if Jordan's here, Pippen's like here. I mean, they were that good defensively, offensively, everything. Pippen could do anything you wanted.
Yeah, I think he was able to show that too that year, man. Like he led our team in every category, steals, rebounds, points, everything. So just one man machine, man, that he was able to do that. So, that year he left, and then he came back.
Yeah.
And that's when he wore the number 45. And that's when I got a chance to play with him, man. And we ended up losing Orlando that year.
Horace Grant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoisted Horace on their shoulders. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I was a Bulls fan. I mean, I was a Bulls fan growing up, so a Jordan fan. So
So I was young, man, and I wanted to play. The team. The other thing about that is, my contract was for 6 years. I signed a $6 million 6-year contract. So Jerry would always tell me, like, man, we're investing you in the long run. Don't get upset that you're not playing a lot now, but you get your minutes and you haven't, like, man, I want to play,
Right,
so
right.
I was getting a little pissed off and would probably talk a little too much than I should have at that time about complaining about not playing. And Jerry and Phil said, well, what do you want to go to be successful? And me and Nick had already been talking about it. Like,
Right.
You get to LA, man, you can help us. I'm like, well, man, you work your end, I work my end.
Right.
And then Jerry said, well, I'm going to try everything I can to get you to LA because I want you to be successful because I drafted you and you're one of my guys. So I'll see if I can make that happen. And Jerry made it happen for me, man.
How long did you play in LA, and how long did you and Nick play together out there?
Yeah, I was in LA, played with Nick 2 years, and then I played in LA for 4 total. You know, they traded Nick, and then that's when I played in LA for 4 years.
Were you part of when Shaq and Kobe were there, or was that before you?
No, I was there with Shaq and Kobe. You know, I was there when Jerry West first announced that he had this young kid that was going to be coming to the summer league, and he was like, man, I need to talk to you because I would like for you to acclimate him to the Lakers style of what we're doing in the summer league. And, you know, he was a young kid at the time, man. And you hear the hype, of course.
Yeah.
You never really, everybody has hype if they get drafted coming to the NBA. So I was like, all right. So met Kobe, man. Kind of like that early on, like we would just really talk. I was getting to know him, and he was playing in the summer league. And I never forget, I tell everybody, the first practice, we was going up and down, man. I remember he did this 360 dunk. And I was like, woo. I said, okay. Damn. And then we would go out to eat after, I took him out to eat a couple times after that. And then the summer league started. Well, we had already played a couple games before he got there. And so I'm telling all my boys, like, man, hey, y'all need to come to the summer league, man. I think I just seen the next Michael Jordan. Like, is he that good? I'm like, man, this dude can go, man. And so his first game, I never forget, like before Kobe came, we had about 8,000 people that would come to the game.
Right.
When Kobe came, we sold that. It was at Long Beach Arena. We sold out like 15,000 people was coming to watch this. And, man, he put on a show, man. He had 36 points that game. Ooh. And he averaged 36 the rest of the summer league.
Jeez, so man, I like Kobe was a dog, dude. I like the only, like what you just said, you say you think you saw the next Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I almost didn't like Kobe, but I had ill feelings toward him because I'm a Jordan dude. To me, there's Jordan and there's Oscar. Those two are one and the same. And I'm like, man, there ain't gonna be no Michael Jordan. Kobe's as close, and I'm never gonna admit that he was or he wasn't, but Kobe's as close to Jordan as we've seen. I mean, Kobe was. And I got to respect him more, I think, after they traded Shaq and he took Paul Gasol and that team to the NBA Finals and won some championships there. So Kobe's got my respect, and I can't believe he's been going with what 4? Is it 4
5
years
years?
Now? 5 years now?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That was a tragic moment. I remember hearing about that. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
he just retired. Yeah, where were you at when you found out?
Man, I was taking my daughters and her friends to a UC women's basketball game. I had just pulled up to drop them off, and my phone started blowing up. And I'm like, what the hell going on? And I ignored a couple calls. Then when Nick called, Nick was like, you heard what happened? I'm like, no. He said, man, at that time they said Kobe Bryant and Rick Fox had died in the plane.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. And the helicopter crashed. So I immediately turned on ESPN and I didn't hear anything. We weren't talking about it. And then, like, right when I was parking the car and getting ready to get out, they said there's a potential possibility that Kobe Bryant had helicopter had crashed. That's all they. And so I said, I didn't even go into the game, man. My daughter and them had already went in. I just sat and listened to the radio, and then I started getting calls from other teammates and stuff. So I remember Ruben called me like, man, can you believe that? I'm like, man, I can't believe it, man. And then, that's how the story went. Like, it was a tragedy for sure, man.
Absolutely.
But I can personally say that I had conversations. We would play one-on-one a lot. You know, his whole thing with me was, man, I know if I can get this off on you, anybody my size is gonna be able to stop this. So he's working on turnaround jump shots, his fade away, and we locking up every now and then to more so to help him get his game off and stuff like that. You know, he called me personally when he was retiring. You know, he wanted me to come back and be a part of that. And he was the reason why I finished my career as a Laker. He found out that I was retiring. And he was like, your ass want to finish as a Laker. I said, man, I said I wouldn't mind. He said, man, I'm gonna make that happen for you. So my last year in the league was with the Lakers, and just because of Kobe made that call for me. So
that's
I have
awesome.
much love for him, man. Great guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. What was your last year in the NBA?
2004.
2004. Okay.
2004.
Well, this has been an absolute blast. Got one more question in here. I know from Ronnie here, my boy. He wanted.
No problem. Yeah.
I don't want to keep you any longer. Than,
you good, man. I owe this to you, so just when you tell me we done. I can talk.
I appreciate you. Ronnie wants to. And I'm kind of curious about this too. Why Jordan Brand chose UC, and do you know why?
Yeah, I do know why. You got to realize at that time, we were one of the most popular brands in the country.
Right.
We had achieved some things, and then that year when Kenyon and DeMar and Satterfield,
that team,
all those guys, man, they had carried the tradition on that we started, and was really bringing a lot of popularity to the school and to the brand. And then I think the other defining moment was when Danny Fortson was on Sports Illustrated, and that thing said "All roads lead through Cincinnati." That was one of the codes.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. So to be a part of that, and then
you're back to that.
Hub had a relationship with Nike. We were already a Nike school.
Right.
And so I think the rumor was that Jordan was going to choose 4 schools, and Cincinnati was like one of the top ones that they wanted to run with.
That's cool, because I mean, I know they always make this big deal about Michigan. I'm going, UC was a Jordan school before Michigan was.
Yeah.
That's so I don't know why that's you see, like, to me, like, oh, Michigan was first. Like, no, they weren't.
Well,
like,
the other proponent you got to look at too is that the Bulls colors was red, black, and white, and our colors was red, black, and white too. So it was kind of
I got helped. I got helped a little bit there. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, you talk, man. Just talk about that stuff, the 90s, the all roads run through Cincinnati and Kenyon, and just that 99 team. That's going to be for me forever the greatest what if. What if? And that's the other thing. I said those guys that was sitting behind me Saturday. They're like, oh yeah, Kenyon, like, he twisted his ankle or something. I said, no, he broke his freaking leg. Broke his damn leg. I'm like, I remember that. I was working. I was listening to the game on the radio, and my parents were actually down. It was down in Memphis again, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And Dan Horton's like, Kenny's went down and had to come back up, and I'm like trying to call my parents. I know they're down. Like, what's going on? You're like, well, he went down. I don't know. We'll see. And then came back later. He broke his leg. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, because we could. I don't care what anybody said. We would have smoked that Michigan State team. Smoked them.
Man,
nobody was beating us that year.
No question. I definitely agree with that, man. They had all the components to win a national championship that year for sure.
Exactly.
That's one, because you made me think about that, like just that era of University of Cincinnati basketball was so unique, and the fact that I was the first draft pick that they had since the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I get to the league, then Nick gets drafted. Me and Nick get to the league, and then for us, it was a pride moment because every year someone from the University of Cincinnati was getting drafted. You had D'Antonio Wingfield get drafted, and then Ruben,
Kenyon,
all these guys that followed.
Danny Fortson. I mean, all these guys. Yeah.
So
Lamar Johnson,
Satterfield, all those. Steve even got drafted.
Yep.
So it was just a good. We had that sense of pride. Like, man, look what me and Nick. It was our whole team, of course, but since me and Nick was our only representation in the NBA, we felt proud. And whenever we would run up against Kenyon or DeMar or Steve, man, it was like, man, what's up, brother?
Right?
Like, they called us the OGs. What's up, OG? Like, it was just a good brotherhood. So we haven't had that in a while. I think our last draft choice was the chosen one, right?
The last one was Mix. Who?
No, I forgot. Mick did have not Cumberland. Drafted Gary Clark and the kid from
he left early.
State. Yeah, man. I can see him. His name.
I know. Oh yeah, Lance. You're right. I forgot about Lance.
Yeah.
Stevenson, Mick had him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I cannot, because that was all, he was on the team that had the big lead against Nevada.
Yeah.
Freaking lost. And I'm like, still can't. That's another thing. But that's the thing I was talking about here. That's where I'm hoping that West gets us back to that. I mean, honestly, I think Baba is going to get drafted. There's going to be a couple of other guys that could potentially get drafted on this team. And like we haven't had that. Mick, and this is, I'm not trying to have this a bashing Mick program, but Mick never had NBA players. Never. Yeah. I won't say never, barely ever had NBA players. You guys, when Huggins had them, we just went throughout the list of guys who made it, and they had other guys who didn't get drafted but made it and had careers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing you need, especially if you're going to the Big 12, because we finally got into the Big East, and all that happened, and then everything we know, everything happened with Hugs.
Yeah.
So then this time comes around, we got Mick, and we're finally seems like Mick's starting to get it going. Then he leaves, and Brandon comes in 2 years of that, and then he's gone. And then we're starting over again.
Yeah.
And we're going into the Big 12. It's like, damn it, can we just have momentum when we're going into these big conferences? And that's where I'm hoping West has finally found something here. Because, like I said, I really do like the talent on this team. But getting the talent, you got to have talent on the team. You can be the best coach ever. Yeah. But if you don't have talent, you don't have anything.
No.
So I mean, that's where I'm hoping UC's finally starting to get back to it. And like I said, get me a little excited. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens Saturday, because everything with West, I get all excited, then gosh, and then so I'm hoping it goes through and they win this thing. But I think they got to win at least. They got to win at least the last couple games and at least 2 games in the Big 12. But that's the good thing about being in the Big 12. They may win 2 games in the Big 12 tournament. They're probably got a pretty good shot at making it, even though they haven't been, they'd be what 5 games above 500 or whatever. That's the best part about being in the Big 12.
Yeah, we've had some incredible wins against some high-ranking teams too.
Yeah,
so
Kansas.
The other bad part is we had some bad wins against some low-ranking teams too. So I think if we're strong and we get a couple games in the Big 12 tournament, I think we can solidify a spot in the tournament. I think.
I hope so, man. It's been, like I said, it's been such a roller coaster year. I went from giving up to this team to wanting West fired to going. But now I'm like, you got to make the tournament still, but you're on the verge. So we'll see what happens. Corie, this has been an absolute blast. I would love to have you on the show again. Anytime you want to come on, man, just let me know.
Man,
I think you, Alex, and Terry on the same time. That'd be fun to do a round table with you 3 on there.
Yeah, and like I say, man, I apologize for you've been talking to me about this. I've been all over the place, and then had my phone mess up today. But so if you need me, man, just reach out to me, man. I enjoyed this.
I appreciate it too, man. And hopefully we'll see each other. We'll be softball teammates again. I'll see you jack one over the fence again.
All right, man.
All right, Corie. Thanks, brother. Take it easy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Corie Blount is freaking awesome. Now, if you would have told high school me that you'd be able to interview Corie Blount and you'd be friends with Terry Nelson, I would have said you're crazy. That's what just happened. So that was pretty freaking cool. I enjoyed that. I probably could have kept talking, but we've been on for an hour, and that's long enough. So hopefully, maybe when we make if we make the tournament here, I'll get Terry and Corie on, and maybe Alex Meacham. Who knows? We'll see.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
And it's always shout out to all my great sponsors, Moorline Lager House, Priority Lawn and Landscaping, and Meyer window doors, and more. Make sure you guys check them out. If you wouldn't get any of the phone numbers right there, Pride Lawn Landscape is right there. You can check it out, call them. And everybody knows more on Logger House. Meyer Window Door More. They were down at the Home and Garden Show. Make sure you guys check them out. Of course, tell them Ice sent you. But as always, thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and Instagram. You can follow me on all those along with Threads and TikTok. Check out my Substack. I do write some articles on there from time to time. I would love for you guys to read it. I will be pulling a sign off later on tonight. If you want to listen to this hour podcast instead of watching it, if you're going on a run, driving in the car, whatever, check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitch Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor. Listen to it, rate it, like it, review it, leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. Leaving the 5-star review just helps the algorithm out, just like hitting the likes and subscriptions on here, the bell for the notification when I go live. All that stuff just helps with the algorithm, helps me out, and helps me hopefully get more great guests like I got today. This is show number 1 of 2 today. The next one will be back live at 5:30. I got my boy Trags on, Mike Petralia. He'll be back on. We'll be discussing the Hunter Green news. Maybe we'll have some more information of what they think is wrong with his elbow, when the MRI is happening, stuff like that. Other than that, you guys remember one thing and one thing only. It's you see, and of course, throw it up. That's your sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.